Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is the newest release to the FNAF franchise. Releasing in December of 2021, Security Breach shocked fans of the series with its first step into a real 3D experience. No, Help Wanted VR does not count. The game has received a pick-and-mix bag of feedback from gamers alike over its 2-year lifespan, with people claiming it to be not scary or just not working.
Give me in! Freddy! Freddy, you bitch!
And with the Ruin DLC right around the corner, it's only fitting that I visit the original game to answer the question, is Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach actually bad? After a series of delays during the year of 2021, Security Breach finally decided to release in December, which made for a perfect Christmas present for all the little children to see Rockstar Fred and... These familiar faces, including a few new ones, once again have received a fresh redesign after numerous changes over the course of the last games in the series. Fred now shows off his David Bowie cosplay. Chica is now white. Foxy is now female. And Bonnie died. Yeah, he just straight up died. This crocodile thing killed him. I don't fucking know. This new group of rock stars go about their day singing and dancing and hitting the perk 30. It seems as though Fazbear Entertainment have dulled it back a bit with how much chaos they cause, with all the missing kids and stuff, and arson. So much arson. So to play it safe, they built a giant Pizza Hut. The Pizzaplex is a huge establishment featuring a variety of activities which the player gets to explore. Mini golf, Fazablast, go karts. That's all I got. Whilst the scenery is beautiful, especially if your PC can handle turning on ray tracing, the vibrant and lively complex goes against the typical dark and grungy feel present in the previous FNAF games. But enough talk about Fred's reflective and shiny assessment.
Have you heard of Raid Shadow Legends? The free mobile tactical MMO.
Let's jump into the actual story of this videojuego. Ho el cinco noches de Alfredo. The game opens with Fredmaster tweaking off the Drancon stage, whilst Chica stares at his ass for being a lightweight. Fred factory resets his Windows XP looking ass, and we're suddenly jump scared by the mirror of Fred's reflection. We then hear a small child's voice coming inside of Fred. His name is George. His name is George. George is this dumbass kid. Or robot. We don't actually know. That's just a theory. George stayed over Fred's house for the night, which means that the Pizzaplex is closed and won't open until 6 AM. Essentially, George has to find a way out of El Casa de Pizza whilst avoiding the rogue animatronics, like every other game. But this time, there's a furry that chases you around. So, I don't know, you might like that. I don't want to break down the whole story because it already doesn't really make sense. And now, Brando will attempt to explain the entirety of Security Breach's plot in under 30 seconds. You know, with the robot kid and Freddy Fazbear. There's a son, I think. You go to a daycare and William After. He's called Burn Trap. Blob. There's a blob.
The Thug Shaker. Give me the Thug Shaker.
The Pizzaplex was built on top and then you shoot some robots. Did I mention you have to go to Mr. Hippo Magnet? You have to make pizza for Chica. Chica likes pizza. FNAF 1, like Freddy, you can't look at Freddy gets the shit kicked out of him. Okay, the truth is, the story is quite convoluted, like all the rest of the other games. The problem with all of the FNAF games is that there's not ever a very clear narrative. There's never a set path to guide the player through the story or the lore of the whole game. Hold on, before we continue, quickly pick an ending for me. Stay, leave, or Vanny. This game revived the series somehow. I don't want to press down on the story too much because that wasn't really the driving point for the whole of the game. It was more so the characters and how people simped over. You know what, I don't want to talk about it. But at the end of the day, the game did great for fan service and helped to bring back old nostalgic players from the original series that have grown up since that point. I sure as hell felt nostalgic seeing Freddy on the stage one more time. until he passed out. However, if we push the story aside for a second, there's a greater issue to be resolved. In comparison to the other games in the series, Security Breach's plot is far more developed and results in a much more engaging experience. However, as a result of this extended gameplay, the game is expected to run into potential flaws. And I mean a lot of flaws, like we're not talking about wood or marble either. The glitches in Security Breach are probably the game's biggest downfall in its attempt to be a successful 3D FNAF game. These glitches were so game-breaking that it really impacted how invested the player could be. It was as if the game was playtested by no one. I'm pretty sure no one could be bothered to test the game before release, considering the fact entering Freddy whilst mid-jump would push you through the floor, punishing you to fall forever. The backlash received from fans after the game's first few months of being released demonstrated how little effort was put into making the game a flawless experience. Was Security Breach too ambitious with what it was hoping to achieve in a 3D setting? Some aspects of the Pizzaplex feel lifeless in what initially was supposed to be there, such as the lift in the central room, or elevator if you're American, which ended up having zero functionality, as well as Roxy Raceway, where its only purpose is to trigger a cutscene where you kill Roxy. Bruh. Another thing, you can kill the animatronics. In a previous video, I went over how the use of sound effects stimulate the player's mind, which can create the feeling of tension or fear in a restricted environment where the player cannot move. This concept helps to emphasize the original FNAF game's scariness, which can't be said for Security Breach due to its open world nature. Furthermore, with the player being able to explore areas on their own, the animatronics suddenly lose their core value of being terrifying. Since the player is expecting to get a face full of Roxy, this eliminates the unsureness the player experiences when determining where the threats are approaching from. Whilst the chasing could put the player into a temporary panic, the final outcome is a lot less impactful, as players could see the jump scare coming, as opposed to FNAF 1, where at any point in time, the player could be unexpectedly attacked and be sent to heaven. The game does do a couple canon unavoidable jump scares, but they're just funny more than anything. Like, check this out. White woman jump scare. The main problem with the game is that its scare factor would probably make your baby smile. Security Breach's jump scares are more of a nuisance rather than making me shit my pants. I don't want to just assume that Wood Cotton Industries deliberately made the spooky less to appeal to children, and whilst it may have driven up sales for the game, the overall experience falls in engagement for the average player. In other words, it sucks. Disregarding the game's very scary jump frights, Security Breach over time had fans begin to come around and appreciate the game's uniqueness. And with the Ruin DLC approaching very soon, the FNAF community will only grow stronger and invite new people to the FNAF series. In conclusion, is Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach a bad game? To be honest, I'm not sure. Now, okay, stop throwing shit at me. You want a definite answer, and yeah, I get that, but who am I? Why are you coming to me? I'm just a guy in the I'm just Brando, man. But look, the game standalone, if you take away all the characters, the story sucks. But what helps to carry the whole of the game, and like the other games in the franchise, is that the fan base is so strong, and practically with every release, you can guarantee a majority of them coming back. So yeah, I'm on the fence. But in my personal opinion, I think the game's pretty fun, and hopefully Stillwell will learn their lesson with releasing the game in a buggy state that the Ruin DLC will wipe everyone's expectations. I'm excited. You may be, you're probably not excited, but hey, that's just a theory. By the way, you know how people like subscribe to channels that they like? I mean, come on man, no disrespect to this guy, but look at this.
Hey Patrick, have you ever eaten a baby?
No, I never eaten a baby.
Ahoy, SpongeBob! Fart in me mouth!
How does he have more subs than me?
I'm not attracted to SpongeBob.
Guys, please, I'm begging you. Subscribe and buy.
Oh shit, here we go again.